the T-bone niece Matisse. Hello, welcome to Velo's tour coverage. We're going to do bike checks today. We got a fleet of fancy machines that are going to be racing around France over the next 3 weeks. Who are we going to start with? One that, I'm going to be honest, is probably my favourite paint job at the tour so far. Lidl Trek's Project 1 Madone. Now, many artists have been associated with cycling before. Mondrian and Look, Madonna and De Rosa. Honestly, that's a true one. And this one is inspired by Matisse, a local artist. Shall we run through what the team are going to be using here at the tour on this Madone Project 1? Apart from a very fancy paint job, they are of course sponsored by SRAM. Let's start with a chain set. We have got a 1x54 up front matched to a 1036 cassette on the rear. Wheels come from Trek's in-house brand Bontrager, and of course they are the Aeolus RSL 51s. And those wheels are wrapped in Pirelli tyres, a company that the team aren't just sponsored by but work closely with. They help develop the tyres. We got the P0 Race RS TLR tyres, tubeless ready, which is exactly what they're using. You ready? Let's measure them up. 30.48. So 30.5, not too chunky, but chunky enough. For T-bone niece, he is riding a medium large size frame. Handlebars are 37.40 with a 120 stem. Question is, will they pass next year's UCI rules? We'll have to find out later in the tour. Pedals come from SRAM's in-house brand as well. Time, in this case, the X Pro Carbons. Very fancy. Why have they not got a team colour paint job on them? That's disappointing. Aeolus Pro saddle. It's all pretty stock standard stuff really. Items that you can get from Trek themselves, and believe it or not, they're going to be doing this paint scheme as a Project 1 paint job. So yeah, if you've got the cold hard cash to go out and splash on this frame, you can get it exactly the same as this bike. An interesting thing about the Madone is that they have proprietary bottles and bottle cages. Apparently you can swap them out for standard ones, but with this setup it makes it the fastest possible combination for this bike, which is exactly what you want for the first 3, 4, 5 opening stages of this year's Tour de France. Let's get the scales out. 7.55. Gets a thumbs up, team. There we have it, one very pretty bike. Shall we have a look at a few more? Another bike check this time, a new one that only came out last week if I remember rightly. The new BMC TeamMachine SLR01. And we've got a special one here. Team leader, do we call him, or co-leader of the Tudor squad? Alaphilippe, world champion, renowned nice guy and good dancer. Right, let's go through what he's using. Well, as we say, the new TeamMachine SLR01 in a 51. We've had the tape measure out already. This thing apparently is lighter than even the TeamMachine R1 Masterpiece, which is the big bucks one, the one that they can only make 30 pieces a year of. We'll get to the weight in a minute though. So what is he using? SRAM is the sponsor of the squad for the equipment. In this case, Alaphilippe is using a 1033 Outback with, hold on a minute, let me have a look, 5239 up front. A classics man. What isn't classic and quite surprising for a professional is he's only got an 11 stem here, which I don't even know if that makes you a professional. Usually you've got to have a 14. Bar width though, 36 and a 42 out the front, centre to centre. So don't worry UCI, this bike will pass next year. With SRAM being a sponsor as well, we've got time pedals. On here though, we've not got the team edition ones. We've seen them on the TeamMachine R1, nice little bit of red detailing. Wheels are from, well, it's got to be a Swiss company on a Swiss team, DT Swiss. The Arc 1100 in a 50. Tyres are from Schwalbe. I'm told they're riding a 28. Let's get the calipers out and check though. 29.6 blown up, running tubeless of course. They won't tell us what tyre pressure the Frenchman is using. Bar tape from Celitalia, just like the saddle, and the 3D printed saddles we're seeing more and more of in the peloton now. In this case it's using the SLR 3D, carbon rails, and unlike Uno X bike that we've just seen over here. He's got the rails in the right place here, he's not playing about. Nice and dead in the centre. On the new TeamMachine SLR01, they've taken details from the R1 with the aerodynamics and integrated the bottle cages. In this case, they're using the new tax bottles, not the old ones. These ones flow better, so I'm told, which is not a bad thing because the heat here has been stinking. You want to keep cool, you want to keep hydrated, don't you? Wahoo supply the bike computer. Last year they supplied the pedals, but as we said, they're on time this year. Tudor definitely winning the prize for the tidiest number mount. Look at that, it's all integrated in. Normally they just have like a carbon or a 3D printed wrap around the seat post, but they've actually used it as the wedge. Not seen that before. Swiss engineering at its best. Let's get to the all-important weight. Taking bets, crew. 7-1.
7-4.
7-4.
7-6.
What? 7-6? I'm going 7.05. Let's see who's right, Will. 7.26. That's a bit of a surprise, actually. With bottles, yeah, and computer and pedals. So probably not a surprise, actually. All in all, a very nice machine. But yeah, this one will be used for the high mountains, and they're a team again with a second bike that they can use. In the case of the R1, a bike that we saw released 2 years ago when AG2R were using them before they swapped to Van Rysel. That's the Aero one with the crazy looking forks, but all the same componentry. Be nice to see Alaphilippe do some damage on this because he's had a good season already, hasn't he? Right, that's it from Tudor and BMC. We've got calipers, we've got a scale, we've got a Ridley, we're at Uno X, and we've not got just one Ridley, we can have 2 Ridleys if the team's nice to us. This year, dare I say, Uno X have swapped bikes. They have gone from Dare to Ridley. With Ridley not being in the peloton in 2024, they're back to business and supplying Uno X not just with the Falcon RS, but with the new Noah Fast, a bike we'll get to in a minute. So whose bike have we got here? Let me just remember. Johansson's. Yes, I've probably said that name wrong, but this is the bike that they will not be using for the first 5 stages, I guarantee you that much, because this is their climbing bike, the Falcon RS, a bike that I tested a couple of years back and thoroughly liked. To make it lighter, they have gone for the DT Swiss Arc 1100 wheels, shod with Grand Prix 5000 TT TR tyres. Shall we get the calipers out? We're on a 28 rear. Do we have a different one up front? No. Right. Johansson's a true professional because he's got a 140 stem matched to a 36, 38 bar. So it's 36 from here, 38 out here, slight flare on there. Group set is Shimano Dual Race, but there is a few refinements here, a few changes. The most blatant being this, how do we say it? Slightly, I'm not going to say abusive looking, but big looking ceramic speed, oversized pulley wheel. Don't ask me to count the teeth on that thing, will be all day, but it is big. Up front though, we have got an FSA chain set, which leads me to think that these guys aren't sponsored by Shimano, but will either buy the group set themselves or have the manufacturer supply it. Chainring size though, for Johansson's, we've got a 5440 on his climbing bike, Dual Race pedals, tax bottle cages, and a Pro logo Scratch MS saddle. We look at that, them rails are slammed right forward, aren't they? One little detail that the mechanics aren't going to be happy about me pointing out is, where's the little rubber grub on the top to keep this thing nice and aero and looking tidy? Sorry lads. Hold on, wait, what are we on? 7.4, not too shabby. Right, shall we crack on with a second bike? Round 2 for Uno X, and unlike many teams, they have got 2 bikes to choose from because many manufacturers are now moulding an aero bike and a climbing bike into one model. But no, for these guys, they've got an aero bike as well. And in the case of Ridley, it is the Noah Fast, the 3rd generation, a bike that has seen Greipel, Robbie McEwen, Caleb Ewan win on previously before, but it's a huge change up this time round because we've got new UCI rules. Instead of it being a 3-to-1, it is an 8-to-1 tubing profile depth, which means you're allowed the depth of the tubing here to be 8 times the width of the tubing here. So that's why it's so huge compared to previous generations. This is the bike they'll be using for the first few stages. Let's run through a bit of the tech though. Again, FSA supply the chain set, and for Friedhelm he is using a 55 1130 Outback, making things even a little bit faster. We got the 60mm deep section of these wheels this time round, and nice little bit of detail. See the sticker down here? That lets you know the last time that they put sealant in there. Another interesting fact here is that these are actually the proprietary bars for this bike instead of the deader ones that the team are actually sponsored by. And I'm pretty sure that's a 115 stem we got going on there. Yes, that is massive. 36 wide bar as well, so very modern. Believe it or not, these will also pass the new UCI rules that come into effect sometime next year, maybe. Tyres are different to the Falcon that they were using. In this case, 30mm instead of the 28s that they were using. Another nice little bit of detail, we've got a carbon race number mount there and a 3D printed computer mount up front. Over the previous generation, Noah, it is 8.5 watts faster. Let's weigh it. Let's take bets for how I'm gonna go it's 500 grams more than the Falcon. We've got 8.5. Cameraman. We got 8.2. 795. Ha ha ha! Win. We've come to the pits now for the next bike check. We're outside Cofidis because they've got not so much a new bike but a new colourway. Very fancy indeed for the Tour de France. They've got to celebrate not just Lux's 40th anniversary of having pedals in the peloton, but the 40th anniversary of those clip-in system that's, well, you can say change the face of cycling. But what they're riding, they've got the Blade RS795 frame sets throughout, no different ones here, just that different colour on the bikes. Bars, though they may look one piece, are actually 2-piece, so they can chop and change the sizes. Group set, well, of course, this is the only team in the peloton sponsored by Campagnolo, and they've got the brand new Super Record wireless group set, 13 speed, and yes, the thumb shifters are back as well. Wheels also come from Campagnolo. We got the Bora WTOs and shod around them. They've dropped Michelin from last year and instead have moved over to Vittoria Corsa. And yes, they are all tubular. Saddles come from Cellitalia, and of course pedals come from Luck, as you would expect. Oh, and also stay tuned for another video where I hung out with Cofidis for 36 hours at 2,100 metres to find out exactly what goes on, an altitude training camp leading up to the Tour de France. Let's just say, a lot of food, a lot of bike riding, a lot of sleeping.